Hey everyone, before we get to today's very special game, just wanted to make an announcement that we're on Instagram. You can find us just like you can at Facebook and Twitter at Triviality Pod. That's at Triviality Pod. We're new to Instagram with everything, so we're going to try and do posts as much as we can and interact with all of you over there as well, but feel free to follow us there. And one more note, we're trying a new scheduling system. Our previous system was giving us some bugs, and we wanted to make sure that we could get to everyone in a timely manner and schedule the games as best we could. So now all of the scheduling is going to be done through the crop. We're starting a new Google form. We're doing a beta test here for March and April. We'll see how that goes, and then we're going to learn from that and continue. But if you'd like to be on the show, whether it's a host or a contestant, just kind of keep a lookout in the crop. We're going to have some forms up there every quarter, every few months, and definitely check that out. But super excited for today's episode. We hope that you're all staying safe, washing your hands, saying hello to loved ones, and hopefully we can provide a little escape for you today. So enjoy this episode, and let's get to the game.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and I'm joined here with Ken. How are you, Ken?
What's up? Mostly empty studio. Kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. Jeff is not here. We gave him a gift certificate to check out some elements, and it was actually a trick, and he's going to look at a car lot for Honda elements. We'll see what happens when he comes back. He'll probably be angry. But Matt is joining us from LA as is the norm now. So how are you, Matt?
I'm doing good out here, staying healthy, staying safe, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
As we do.
Yeah. We've been on lockdown for a couple days now.
Yeah.
But watching some good TV, playing some old video games. Played Sonic 1.
Yeah. There you go, playing some old games.
I was supposed to stay 6 feet from you guys, but instead I moved 10,000 miles or whatever it was.
Yeah, and we miss you every day.
We do.
I know.
We miss your hugs.
Sorry, guys.
But we wanted to start the episode out real quick by just thanking a few people before we get to our special guests. We had a wonderful time at Geek Bowl. It was in Chicago. It was a huge event. We loved throwing our event Extravaganza with all of our partners, Trivial Warfare, Tara Whittle and the Illuminati, Lee DeGeorge and Something Birds, Aaron Barclay, Misinformation, Complete the List podcast, and the Sports Trivia Face-Off podcast. So thank you to them for helping throw an awesome event. We really want to thank some of our vendors that took their time to come out and help us. Inked and Screened, who does our merchandise, and that's Taylor Doolittle, the Chicago Donut Company, Magic Moment Photo Booth, and our friend Jason Borsum of Liquid Courage Entertainment for DJing and doing karaoke. Couldn't have done it without all of our vendors, but most of all, and I think Ken will agree, and Matt wasn't able to make it due to kind of what's going on lately, but I think Ken will agree that the best part of it was meeting all of the listeners that we got a chance to get to know and hear how long they've been listening to the show, or if they're new, or just meeting people.
Definitely. I was very happy with how many people I got to meet and talk to one-on-one for a little while. Didn't get to talk to everybody as long as I would have liked, but there was a lot of people to go get around to. So the turnout was great, and I had a blast.
Did anyone challenge you to fisticuffs?
Nobody challenged me to fisticuffs, which I don't know why I would have expected that, but it's nice that nobody did.
Well, it was a 1920s themed party.
Was it?
It was the jungle. Was that the 20s or that was 1800s? I don't remember. I don't know anything about history. I'm terrible, so I'm the movie guy. But thank you very much to everyone. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to next year in Austin. But we do want to introduce our very special guest that we have here today. They're a super talented pair of writers who also happen to be married. She's a Golden Globe nominated writer of movies you've seen, The Post, Long Shot, and the film All the Bright Places, which is awesome. And it's actually streaming right now on Netflix. And that's Liz Hannah. And sitting next to her is her husband, Brian Millikin. And he's written shows that I'm sure you've seen, like Shadowhunters, Time After Time, and Haven. How are both of you doing today?
We're good. We're staying inside. There's been a respite from the rain. We apologize to everyone listening if there sounds like a small animal being tortured. It's our dog wanting our attention. We promise we're not harming any animals.
We love animals on this show anyway.
Worse than anybody.
Yeah, she's really unhappy with the quarantine.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Jones.
Ooh.
It's very predictable.
I love it. And now would that be after Henry Jr.?
That'd be That would be Henry Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Her
Correct?
name is actually Henry Jones Jr.
Yes. Her name is Henry Jones Jr. Millikin. We felt important to put the junior in there.
We thought about naming the dog Indiana like you would, but I felt overdone, so we stuck with Jones.
Right, because then...
And she's a girl, which we thought was like, going against gender norms.
Yeah,
She's a strong, powerful woman.
I like it. And plus, if you did name her Indiana, then Brian would be walking around the house all the time going, you named the dog Indiana.
Exactly. Well, I do that anyway.
Yeah,
so.
that would have been nice. Yeah, no, he does that.
Last Crusade is pretty quotable.
Yeah, it was also, I felt weird having Sean Connery in our house because my husband is more like Sean Connery than anybody else. So it's just having two of them.
Then we're doing
the
like
Bond version, right?
Then doing like Ewan McGregor doing Sean Connery in train spotting impressions. So like it would have been bad. So Jones was like mutually agreed that was the safest choice.
Correct.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. And you told us before we started that you've been listening to the podcast, which is great. And hopefully that continues and there isn't an episode that just makes you turn it off. But we hope that with everyone.
No, we're definitely going to stop listening after we record ours. That was a
good.
one-time thing.
Good.
No, we're big fans. We really like it. As I was saying, it's like such a fun thing to do while we're frankly walking the puppy endlessly because we can't take her to the park or do anything with her that involves humans right now. So it's a really great thing to feel like you're actually thinking while you're mindlessly walking the dog.
Yeah, I mean, and as it is, you and I watch Jeopardy every night.
Yeah.
When we're out of town, we don't watch it without the other person. So we'll come back home and there'll be like 50 stockpiled on the DVR. So we just like do like 3 or 4
We went
a
to
night.
a live Jeopardy taping.
That's right.
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we actually played against each other at a bar trivia at least a couple times without ever meeting each other. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of
You
our
were on
first
a
dates.
team that I hated also, by the way.
Wait a
they
minute.
were real.
I was on the better team. That's what.
They were real know-it-alls. And what was your name? It was really know-it-all-y.
It was named by my friend Steve. It was called the Black Hand, which was it's a historical reference. It's a tough. It was a tough name. I know.
Yeah.
Steve.
So
Classic Steve move.
with you competing with each other at trivia, did Brian's brother come and try to do like a kidnapping plot that was actually a game night, and then your neighbor who was a police officer came and saved you?
You did just name one of our favorite movies of the last 2 years.
If only that had happened.
No, but what did happen though is that Brian was then introduced to Trivial Pursuit or reintroduced to Trivial Pursuit by my friend Luke and I. However, Brian and I are never on the same team, not for any allegiance because we're married, but because my friend Luke and I are almost undefeated. Brian and our friend Nicole recently beat us for the first time in 7 years. So
That's incredible.
So we're very into the trivia. So this is right up our alley.
All right, Matt, we're in trouble.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay.
Matt and Ken, what do you want to do for your team name then?
We're going to be in trouble.
In trouble, I like it. And I would be nothing but trouble, but we don't want to see Dan Aykroyd's nose from that. If you know that reference.
It's fun getting into trouble.
Yeah, well, exactly, Matt. You were emo for a little while. You know what's going on.
Still
while.
emo.
He's still emo.
Yeah.
Liz and Brian, what would you like your team name to be?
Should we stick with the theme?
I like it.
Go for it.
The Cross of Coronado.
Ooh,
We're going to go deep on that one.
It belongs in a museum, after all.
there you go. All right, well, we have team names. Let's throw it to the rules guy, and let's see if he can do a really good Sean Connery impression.
Triviality Podcast is 2 rounds of 20 questions worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there's a special swing round by this week's host. In the final round, players wager points they've earned for a chance to become the cream of the crop.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
His Sean Connery really sounds like Gilbert Gottfried, doesn't it?
It does.
That's really weird.
It's very strange. It is.
He should work on that.
He should. I wrote today's game. I apologize in advance to all our listeners who are a little bit more, shall I say, academic. This is going to be very pop culture heavy. I'm not good at science or other things, but I got some listener submitted questions, so we'll see what happens. And then as far as Liz is concerned, I'm so glad that both of you are on the show. I heard that she liked trivia from one of my favorite podcasts that she's guested on that you should all check out if you're interested in screenwriting. It's Script Notes by John August and Craig Mazin. So I had to mention that so Craig would not have any umbrage.
6 degrees of separation on podcasts right now. I'm loving it.
Isn't it? Yeah.
What's going to come from this podcast? I can't wait. Can't wait to find out.
Very little, I'm sure.
We're the new podcast cinematic universe, and we need a Vin Diesel, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
I think I'm guesting on Joe Rogan next week, so maybe something like that.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so let's start the game here. Question 1 is going to be what I'm calling an onomatopoeia tribond. I'm going to give you 3 things, and you have to tell me what onomatopoeia they have in common. Does that make sense for everyone?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Bang.
The 3 things are Charlie D'Amelio, the Renegade Dance, and Kesha.
Okay. I think I understand what Neal's saying with the Kesha reference, so I'm going to lock in for our team.
I have no. You go. You guess.
Me?
Yeah.
My guess.
Yeah. Well, sure. We'll lock in. We'll lock in.
We'll lock in.
All right,
you
cool.
guys are going first.
All right. Well, I think there's something with ticking and talking in a Kesha song, and TikTok's
and
a thing with the
Renegade
kids
Dance
now.
is the Renegade Dance is a famous TikTok dance. It was at NBA All-Star game.
okay.
Now that I think about it.
So we said TikTok.
TikTok.
Okay. And Liz and Brian, what did you say?
We were like money in
Yeah,
some way.
we had
like
moolah.
moolah. Yeah, we were trying to do a wordplay with that. We were really stuck on it. So TikTok makes sense. There you
All right.
go.
Well, Kesha, if you're listening, maybe your next single should be Moolah, but it was TikTok. Yes. I've been getting into TikTok, kind of doing some research, and I have some old. I sound like an old man, like the old Muppet guys. Like I'm doing research, but anyway, it's been pretty interesting. So I had to write that question for the kids, as Matt said.
TikTok dance. I wish time would run out.
That was good. All right. Number 2 might be for Matt and Liz because it's sort of sports adjacent. If you were a resident of this state, you were probably very disappointed in both your football team and your basketball team for making it to the penultimate game or series of the 2019 season and falling short.
I know.
Locked
Hold
in.
on.
Ooh, Liz and Brian are locked in.
All right, so we can talk. So
Yeah, my brain's not working.
all I can say about that question is penultimate means the second from the last one.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Is that right?
'Cause I think the Sixers lost to the Raptors and the Eagles lost to I forget who, but they lost to.
All right, we're in with
Yeah.
Philly.
Okay. And Liz and Brian?
Yeah, it's Philadelphia.
While those teams were in the playoff hunt, they were not in the penultimate game or series in the playoffs for the NFL and NBA. It was actually Wisconsin. The Bucks lost to the Raptors to go to the NBA Finals, and the Packers lost to the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl.
I see.
All right.
Yes.
I will trust you and not dispute it. Good job.
And
The
they're-
trivia about Wisconsin is we try and block them out because they beat the University of North Carolina in a really upsetting loss in the
It was the 2015 Sweet 16.
yeah.
It was a tough loss. We were there. We were at the
We
game.
were at the game. I walked to get popcorn and I came back and we were down 12 points.
Oh, no.
So I blame myself. So
They
I
ranked the tank and we didn't, and that's all that mattered.
we shut out
Kaminsky.
Wisconsin for the Packers, and now we're very torn because we have Jimmy Graham now on the Bears. So very weird time. And Tom Brady's not with the Patriots, so who knows what's going on? Everything's burning. Okay.
I just saw Tom Brady is now a Buccaneer, which is.
Oh wait,
just
did that
sounds
just
weird.
happen?
yeah, that happened about
Oh my
an hour
God.
ago. Yeah.
Before, in between, while I was looking.
Yeah,
Oh,
breaking
boy.
news.
These are the end times. It
Oh,
really
wow.
is.
Well, now we'll see if he was good or if it was all Belichick. So let's see what happens. All right. Number 3. This is going to be a musical question because I love musicals. Flim Flammer Woo's Librarian would be a concise description of what famous musical that premiered on Broadway in 1957 and will make its return in 2020. Adamantium not included.
I think we're locked in.
Okay.
We are locked in as well.
All right, so I think it's Music Man. I don't know the adamantium reference. It's Marvel.
Well, I believe it's a Hugh Jackman maybe reference.
Oh yeah,
If it's
maybe he's
Wolverine.
playing him.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
That
maybe.
sounds like
We're
Because
in
he's
with
doing it on Broadway.
yeah.
Is he?
That makes sense.
All right, well, we're in
Yeah.
with Music Man.
What about you guys?
Music Man.
Yeah.
Music Man is
My high school
correct.
put it on.
Marion
Yeah.
the Librarian. Great reference.
Madam Librarian was the song. Harold Hill,
No,
right?
it's
Is the
called
name of
Harold
the
Hill?
Marion
Music Man
Librarian.
himself?
Yeah.
Harold Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
directed that in high school.
did you really?
There we go.
Yes, I did.
Hey, I played drums for Music Man too, and I did the anvil on the cymbal, and I only did it because the guy playing it said, "Hey, do you think you could hit that anvil for me when I drop my bag?" And I said, "Sure." And every time I did, it was louder every night, and he couldn't say anything because he was just kind of shocked, and so it was great.
Incredible. And I think my older brother was in Music Man, so that completes these.
That tracks.
There you go. So Music Man, yeah. So Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster will be on Broadway. I think it's in October for Music Man. So.
Nice.
All right. Moving right along to question 4. In the fashion world, DKNY is to Donna Karan New York as DVF is to what?
Locked in.
Ooh.
Oh no.
All right. So Matt, I have no idea.
I can't think of what Venice. Maybe no. I don't know what VF would be. Because that would be if you're doing DKNY as Donna Karan New York, then DVF you would assume that either the F or the VF is the location.
I just have I have nothing.
Donatella Versace.
France. Florence.
Where would that? Okay. Yeah.
So Donatella Versace Florence is what you're going with?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And Liz?
Well, now I just blanked out her name. She's what the no, literally, I just had it. I locked in. Her name, Diane von Furstenberg. Thank you, Diane von Furstenberg.
And the answer, if you were a fan of the wrap dress, is Diane von Furstenberg. So 10 points to.
So we're wrong.
You were wrong. Yes, it is not Donatella Versace. Venice. What was it?
Florence.
Florence. Thank you. Yeah. That's okay. Good try, guys. Good try.
She came and spoke at my college when I was a student there. It was great.
Oh, well, that's not fair. Then.
She's also like a duchess or something.
She was a princess.
She married royalty,
in Belgium.
So then
yeah.
She's really knocking it out of the park. She's good.
Yep, all those episodes. So Colleen and I watched all of Ugly Betty like 4 times. So she's always mentioned on that show too. So I had to pull it. We were watching an episode. All right, number 5. This is our first listener submitted question. Comes to us from listener Luke McKay from Australia, who kindly wrote a science question for me, as he correctly knows I can't write science questions. And if Jeff was here, I would have said Collingwood Magpies are the best, and he would have said, no, it's Carlton Blues, but he's not here, so too bad. All right, his question. The blanket genus of which animal exhibits the largest level of sexual size dimorphism in non-microscopic species, with the 2 meter or 6.6 foot long female outweighing its 2.5 centimeter or 1 inch male counterpart by up to 40,000 times?
Boy, I have no idea.
Yeah, at first I was thinking this was like a praying mantis, but I'm like, there's no 6-foot praying mantis. That's terrifying. Outside of Vegas, that one shoots fire though.
How about we say ants, because that's how you get ants.
Okay.
We're gonna say snake.
So the only over 6-foot snake I know is Snake Plissken, but it's not the answer. But the answer is actually the blanket octopus.
Oh, that does make sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So blanket was your clue there. Yeah. So thank you, Luke, for that question.
The question rises, would you rather face up against one Neal-sized ant or 100,000 ant-sized Neals?
Oh, my God. I can't even
Can I
compute
choose
that.
none of the above?
Yeah, please. I'm with Liz on that one. It's too many film references coming at you in rapid fire. Okay. Speaking of film references, this one is based on a tweet that Liz did a long time ago that I really love because she said The Fugitive is a perfect movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I want you to take the actor who won an Oscar for their performance in The Fugitive, then look to the actor who portrayed a younger version of that Oscar winner in a science fiction comedy film, then take the father of that actor in the science fiction comedy film and tell me what television show he was on where he portrayed a 3-term governor of Florida.
We're locked in.
Okay, they're locked in.
Cool.
So
Pretty quick for them. So I could get to Josh Brolin. So it's Tommy Lee Jones to Josh Brolin, and then we need Josh Brolin's dad, and then we need
Just his father in general.
yeah, right. That's who we need.
his father, and then he portrayed a character on what TV series where he was a 3-term governor of Florida.
That I don't know.
Yeah. What kind?
Miami Vice.
Let's just, yeah.
All right,
What would a
Miami
show be
Vice.
where they have a governor. Yeah.
Oh, the old governor in Miami Vice. It is not Miami Vice, unfortunately. Liz and Brian?
Oh, you don't remember the
Do I-
governor character?
Do I get an extra point if I name the character?
I'll give you an extra point. Yeah.
His name is Governor Ritchie, and he is on The West Wing.
And the correct answer is one of my favorite shows, The West Wing. Yep.
What's Josh Brolin's dad's name?
James Brolin.
James Brolin.
James.
Yeah, there's a...
Airwolf in the 80s, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the star of Being Married to Barbara Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great scene on The West Wing if you ever look it up on YouTube between him and Martin Sheen under an opera as they're kind of going head to head. before the election.
It's the season finale of season 3, and it's
Thank you.
I'm gonna really love doing this with you or something. Like the whole season 3 is about whether or not it's going to be Richie as the Republican nominee, and we've watched a lot of West Wing, so we're very.
It's a writer friendly show, isn't it?
Oh,
It's a very writer friendly show. Yeah.
It's also a really good show to be watching if you're looking for something during this home safe self quarantine time. It's great. It's very bingeable. It's optimistic.
Yep.
You know, it's a good show.
It's nice to see dignity in and I don't know, intelligence anywhere within the DC metro area.
Oh, there you go.
And if you're a production person, if you like Steadicam, watch that show and learn a thing or two.
Learn about the walk and talk.
There you go. All right, so this next question, I'm going to walk while I'm talking.
Okay.
So Ken, please hand me those graphs, and I will tell you about them. So known for its vivid blue-green color, this oft-photographed waterfall can be found in the last of the contiguous states to be admitted to the Union. So I'm looking for the name of a waterfall that is located in the last of the contiguous states to be admitted to the Union.
Okay, I think are we locked in?
We're locked in.
Okay, we're not happy about it.
Yeah, I think it's in Hawaii. I don't know the names of any waterfalls, so let's just say Hawaii Falls.
Spam Falls.
Spam Falls, okay. And Liz and Brian?
Well, it's contiguous, so it would have to be in.
We'll say
Contiguous. Shoot.
We'll say
I thought that
Olympia
too.
Falls.
Olympia Falls.
Olympia Falls. So Arizona is the 48th state and last of the contiguous states, and that would be Havasu Falls in the Grand Canyon.
Arizona has a waterfall?
In the Grand Canyon, yep.
Yeah, and it is photographed a lot. That makes great sense. I just really thought that either New Mexico or Washington were the last two.
We were wrong.
My mistake.
And for all you geographically inclined lovers out there, it was Arizona was admitted to the Union on Valentine's Day. So go do your Valentine's Day celebrations at Havasu Falls. This next question is thanks to Patreon supporter Alex Croninger, and I slightly altered it, so we'll see how this goes. There are 8 stadiums in the United States that hold over 100,000 people. Each of them is home to a college football team. The top 3 stadiums by capacity belong to Big Ten schools. If you can name 2 out of the 3 schools, I'll give you 5 points. If you can name all 3, I'll give you 10 points. So I'm looking for colleges that have stadiums over 100,000 people, and they're all in the Big Ten.
Matt, you can lock in with whatever you think.
Okay, I think we're locked in.
All right. Liz and Brian are locked in.
I'm putting my faith in Matt on this one, so whatever you think, Matt.
Yeah, so I think Michigan is definitely one because I think that's the highest capacity. I think Ohio State is also one, so I had Ohio State.
Okay.
And then the third one, I was fighting between Nebraska and I believe Rutgers might have a really big one, but we locked in with Nebraska as the third one.
We locked in with OSU, Michigan, and Nebraska as well.
Okay. So both teams are going to get 5 points. You definitely got 2 out of the 3. So number 3 is Ohio State with 102,780 capacity. Number 2 is the one that surprised me, which is Penn State for 106,572.
Happy Valley.
My brother goes to school there. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Number 1,
Lions.
like you said, number 1 funded by John Harbaugh's khakis is Michigan, 107,601. Yeah, and so I went to Iowa. Kinnick is a little bit bigger now than it used to be, but it's not too big. But I do love that they do after I left, they started doing the Kinnick wave. If you've ever seen that, it's really sweet, where they wave to all the kids in the hospital next to the stadium. It's really cute.
So both teams with 5 points on that?
Both teams with 5 points on that.
Okay.
Yep, 2 out of 3.
All right.
Number 9.
All right, so number 9, a San Antonio battleground site, a science fiction spacecraft, and the SI unit of Frequency are all prominent members of what industry? So if you take the answer...
Oh, okay. We're locked in.
Oh, Matt's locked in right away. All right.
Locked in.
Okay.
Oh, all right. How about you both start?
Rental car companies.
All right, then
Yeah,
Matt.
you got your Alamo, you got your Hertz, and I don't know what the other one
Enterprise.
was. But
The Enterprise.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Starship Enterprise.
there you go. Rental cars.
And they are all rental cars. Great job, everyone. All right. I didn't know if that would be an easy one or a hard one. I never know. I try to throw something in here that seems Smart.
That's like an aha one where you get it and then you feel really smart, but it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
So the final question here of round one, I'm going to read you an excerpt from a book that was recently adapted into a film of the same name. I'll give you 5 points for the name of the book/film and 5 points for the name of the author. So whatever you can get here. Colleen showed me this book today, and then I realized, oh, there's an adaptation out, so I should write a question about it. So here is the excerpt from the book. She was elusive. She was today. She was tomorrow. She was the faintest scent of a cactus flower, the flitting shadow of an elf owl. We did not know what to make of her. In our minds, we tried to pin her to a corkboard like a butterfly, but the pin merely went through and away she flew.
Oh, what do you think about Emma, Matt? Emma is a new movie.
I don't know anything about it, though.
I don't know too much about it, but it is kind of playful like that. So let's say Emma.
Okay.
It's a pretty famous book.
Emma, all right, from Team In Trouble. And Liz and Brian?
We're going to go Where Did You Go, Bernadette?
Ooh, great guess as well. So this book, it was just adapted on Disney Plus. We're going to watch it this weekend. It was by Jerry Spinelli, and it is Stargirl.
Directed by Julia Hart.
Yep.
Fantastic director in general. Happens to also be a woman, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really
Is there
excited to watch
Baby Yoda
it.
in that one, or no?
No Baby Yoda.
You're gonna have to watch the after the credits scenes. That's all I'm gonna.
Ooh, little teaser there. I want to see the baby. All right, at the end of 10 questions, it looks like Team In Trouble has 35 points, and our Skype guests have 45 points, plus that extra little point, bringing them to 46.
All right, so very tight game here. Before we go into the swing round, just want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. You've really been upping your support over the last few months, and it isn't going unnoticed. We're really appreciative of that, and it's helping the show grow, being able to have more guests on, upgrade equipment, and help throw events like we did with Extravaganza. So if you want to join all the other patrons, you can go to patreon.com/Triviality Podcast, and we have great posters and perks and character boxes, but most of all, we have a bunch of bonus content, and one of which will be some discussion with Liz and Brian after the show. So we hope to see you join us over there, and we appreciate all of your support.
And unlike at the carnival, you are guaranteed a prize.
You are guaranteed a prize, that's right. And there isn't going to be a barker trying to guess your weight or anything, so don't worry about it. Okay, so today's swing round is going to be inspired by Liz's work on one of my favorite movies of 2019, which was The Post.
Oh boy.
And don't worry, it's not going to be anything out of your league. So it not only depicted attempts by journalists at the Washington Post to publish the Pentagon Papers, but gave audiences a glimpse at the remarkable Katharine Graham. So before I tell you about the swing round and what the question's going to be, Liz, is there anything that you want to say that drew you to Katharine Graham and why she was so awesome before we start?
Yeah, I mean, I read her book. Her memoir is entitled Personal History. She wrote it when she was, I want to say she was in her 80s, and I read it when I was 22, and I had really never heard somebody write a memoir that really depicted their voice as well as she did, and that related to me as well as she did. And I thought that was pretty strange since I was 22 and she was 80, and I didn't inherit a newspaper nor become the first female CEO. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I thought the things that she'd accomplished were things that I should have known about already. So, fast forward almost 10 years later, and I wrote the script, and can't thank Kay Graham enough for it.
Thank you for saying that. I wanted to make sure everyone knew about the book and was able to check it out. So this round is inspired by Katharine Graham, kind of. I'm going to give you 10 clues, and each answer is a famous figure with either Katharine or Graham in their name. So pretty simple. So all the answers are going to either have Graham as a first or last name, maybe a middle name. And the example would be, she sparred in the courtroom with Spencer Tracy in Adam's Rib. So it'd be Katharine Hepburn. Okay, so number 1, fictional Catholic school superstar and nervous sniffer. Number 2, award-winning Irish talk show host with his red chair and lever. Number 3, bad mom, aka Mrs. Fletcher, and Emmy-nominated rabbi on Amazon. Number 4, inspiring mathematician and author of Reaching for the Moon. Number 5, body positive activist and model and star of DNCE music video for Toothbrush. Number 6, award-winning master chef behind the white glasses. Number 7, experienced single parenthood on both the CW/Netflix and NBC. Number 8, breezy mustached novelist with friends Mole, Rat, Toad, and Badger. Number 9, Picasso of dance whose technique reshaped dance forever. And number 10, famous boyfriend of a mononymous legend. So I'll give you all some time to figure those out, and we'll be back with the answers. All the answers are locked in, so I'm going to go through these questions one more time, and we'll get our answers. So number 1 was fictional Catholic school superstar and nervous sniffer. Let's start with Liz and Brian.
Our answer is Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Yes, indeed. Mary Catherine Gallagher.
And that is correct, played by the awesome Molly Shannon. All right. Number 2, award-winning Irish talk show host with his red chair and lever. Let's go Matt and Ken.
For this one, we went with Graham Norton.
Okay. Liz and Brian.
Graham Norton.
And that's right. Ken, I know we always talk about that's at least my favorite interview show format where he has everyone there and they have to kind of meld their personalities.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that show, but I don't know where to watch it.
You can watch it on like BBC.
America Friday nights, I feel like.
Nice.
Yep, a lot of YouTube stuff.
We love it too.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, one of my favorite actresses, Bad Mom, a.k.a. Mrs. Fletcher, and Emmy-nominated Rabbi on Amazon. Liz and Brian.
Catherine Hahn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also said Catherine Hahn.
Yep. Born in Westchester, Illinois, about 5 minutes from here. Catherine Hahn.
Oh, neat.
Yep. She just needs all the work in the world. She's the best.
She's
I would watch her
awesome.
do anything.
Yes, and I love that you find her in some movies that you forget she's in, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and she's great with Kate Hudson, and she just pops up everywhere. She's awesome. Her and Judy Greer. Judy Greer needs a lead role as well. Okay. Number 4, inspiring mathematician and author of Reaching for the Moon, Ken and Matt.
We thought maybe her character in Michael Scott's Threat Level Midnight was maybe a mathematician, so we said Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Okay. Liz and Brian?
We did not come up with an answer on this one.
Our best guess was H.G. Wells, and we hoped that G stood for Graham.
It's good logic there. So this person, super inspiring. She unfortunately just passed away, but she was very prolific. Katherine Johnson.
Of course, from Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures, yep. All right. Number 5, body positive activist / model and star of DNCE music video for Toothbrush. Let's go Liz and Brian.
No idea.
We didn't even have a guess.
No, I don't know what toothbrush is.
Well, now after missing that last one, I feel like but I think this is Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham. That's right. She has a
good one.
New podcast out as well. And if you're America's Next Top Model fan, she was a judge for 2 seasons. All right. Number 6, the award-winning master chef behind the white glasses, Ken and Matt.
So I think you were talking about the lady with the blonde hair that's in the spikes. So we put Catherine Hair Spikes because I have no idea what her name is.
All right. Liz and Brian?
That's Burrell. You're thinking of Anne Burrell.
Oh.
Yeah, we're more Food Network people than Master Chef people.
So our
sadly.
answer is Jeffrey Zakarian.
Oh, that's a good guess. But it is Graham Elliott. Graham Elliott. All right. Number 7, experienced single parenthood on both the CW/Netflix and NBC. Matt and Ken.
Yeah, Matt was excited, so you take it away.
Oh, yeah, this is something that I was sure that Neal was going to put in there. So Lauren Graham, I believe.
All right, Liz and Brian?
Absolutely. Lauren Graham.
Yeah.
I mean,
the guy is known as Lauren
Gilmore
Graham.
Girls, Parenthood. Yeah. I'm all in.
There you go. Lauren Graham. That's right. Colleen had me put that in. It's her favorite show. We watch it all the time. So, and we both love coffee. We have a bunch of Gilmore Girls coffee mugs. So there you go. All right. Number 8, breezy mustache novelist with friends Mole, Rat, Toad, and Badger. Liz and Brian?
Well, I think it's embarrassing as writers to not name this guy, but I think he wrote The Wind in the Willows is where I was going with this. I think that those characters are named.
I toyed with the idea of Graham Greene, but it just doesn't feel like something that he would have written. So I don't know. Our answer is Moonlight Graham.
Moonlight Graham, also known as the guy you get your watches from in the alley in France. And Ken and Matt.
We had an identical conversation where we said, I'm pretty sure this is Wind in the Willows. Who is it? And then Matt said Graham, and I said Green. Graham Greene.
So he is an author, but he wrote The Quiet American, but the answer is Kenneth Grahame from Wind in the Willows.
Kenneth Grahame.
But we were all on the right track.
You
I
all were
appreciate
there.
that.
You're very close.
What a stupid name, Kenneth.
And Badger in that book, The Wind in the Willows, was the exact same character in Breaking Bad. It's what you know. There you go.
Ah.
Crossover.
And I know he was not the answer, but The Quiet American, a wonderful book and a wonderful movie. Check it out if you're looking for something to watch. Starring Michael Caine and Brendan Fraser.
Michael Caine.
Yep.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Yeah. Oh God, it's just going to be a podcast of us now doing Michael Caine impressions now. All right, number 9, Picasso of dance, whose technique reshaped dance forever. Let's go, Matt and Ken.
We thought this was from that Hotline Bling video, so we said Drake, Aubrey Graham.
Okay. Liz and Brian?
The answer is Martha Graham.
Martha Graham, probably the most famous modern dancer in the United States and changed dance forever. That's right, Martha Graham. The Graham technique. All right. And number 10, this one was funny to me because all throughout my childhood, I had never known this person had a last name. And I found that out today. So, famous boyfriend of a mononymous legend, Ken and Matt.
We had no idea, so we just gave a shout out to Graham Chapman of Monty Python.
Okay. And Liz and Brian.
Yes, he generally goes by one name because when you're dating Oprah, you don't really need a last name. His name is Stedman.
That's right. Stedman Graham.
No way.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Going into the second round, it looks like Team in Trouble is at 60 points and in the lead right now, team with 76. All right. So question 1. This first question of round 2 is actually inspired by a Neal story, or as Jeff called it the other day, an Uncle Neal story. So Colleen and I were babysitting our niece Aria the other day, and like some kids, she's afraid of pooping because, let's face it, as a kid, it probably seems really strange that you have to poop. So I said there was a special poop
This
song.
is very sophisticated.
It is sophisticated. So I said there was a special poop song out there to help her and that would help you push it out. So I played Push It by Salt and Peppa, and she really liked it. And now she keeps going, Uncle Neal, ooh, baby, baby song. So now for the question. If you took the famed DJ of Salt and Peppa and had her replace Hilary Duff as the love interest to Chad Michael Murray in a 2004 film, what would the new title of that film be?
Got it, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. This seems like a Matt question.
It is.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, you're locked in?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the movie is called
A
Cinderella Story.
It's probably another princess.
Oh, that's a good call.
So and having just worked on the show that I did, it's probably either Beauty and the Beast. So her name could be Belle, or she could be Snow White.
A ballerina story? I don't think that's
Could be Snow White's.
I think we're out. I think we're out on this one.
I think we go with but I think we have to guess. When we go with a different princess, and we say like, bad guess, our mermaid story.
Sure,
Oh.
that's it. A mermaid story.
All right, Mermaid Story. Matt, what did you lock in with?
I feel like this was the thing that you thought of the pun name first and wrote the question backwards. It's Salt and Pepper and DJ Spinderella, so it's a Spinderella story.
Yes,
one.
it is a Spinderella story. That is correct. And as Matt said, I thought of the pun, chuckled, and I said, I'm going to write a question about that.
I'm just proud I could come up with the name of that movie.
I'm just proud that the DJ name was Spinderella, not Ariel.
Salt and Pepper
We're all
and
happy
Ariel.
about that.
But yeah, great job, everyone. You guys were so close, so you were almost there. All right, so number 2, due to isolation mandates and self-quarantine, we're seeing an uptick in streams on sites like Twitch, replicating the pub trivia experience, kind of like we do. So while Twitch is in itself a streaming site, the term Twitcher is often attributed to people who partake in what hobby or activity? So people who are Twitchers, what are they often doing?
Crystal meth?
It's most likely. Most likely.
I don't know. Matt, go ahead and lock in with whatever you think.
TikTok? No, we already did that.
We definitely don't know. So it's just it's about the best guess at this point. I'm going to say there's a lot of fast Twitch, that's involved in first-person shooter video games. That's the best use of Twitch that I got.
Okay.
So let's say video game players, like competitive video game playing, call themselves Twitchers.
Okay.
I don't like it.
That's a solid guess.
There we go.
Matt, what did we guess?
Yeah, so I thought the name Twitter actually came somewhat from the word Twitcher, and that's why its logo is a little bird. I think it's bird watching.
And it is bird watching.
Oh, way, Matt.
Wow.
That's tremendous work.
Great job.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I saw that on some video somewhere recently, like a Today I Found Out or one of those things.
Yeah,
crazy.
I went through some terms of Twitcher and whatnot, and bird watching, and there's like a whole subgroup of what bird watchers think are real bird watchers and what aren't real bird watchers, and they fight, and it's very serious. So, number 3 in the second round. If you're hearing the 19th century Christian hymn "Nearer, My God, to Thee" by Sarah Flower Adams, you may have just seen a meme going around the internet with violinists performing it in empty toilet paper aisles. Or you are watching this film, which dramatizes the alleged use of the piece during a historical event.
I think
I
we're
just
locked
saw
in.
this. We can lock in.
Yeah, locked in.
All right, let's start with Liz and Brian.
It's one of our favorite hymns. Titanic is the answer.
Yep, it's when the quartet is going down with the ship on the Titanic.
It is
Also,
Titanic.
weird choice to say one of our favorite hymns and not one of our favorite movies.
Oh, right, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it's a wonderful hymn. But yes, no one knows for sure if they were really playing that
Right.
at the end.
Well, yeah, they died. So
Exactly.
True.
the witness list was not long.
I'm glad you said that because that's why I made sure to put alleged in there.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, it is Titanic. It's really pretty. All right. Number 4. This is our second listener submitted question. I realize I put it at number 4, but that's all right. I'm going to keep going. This is from Neal Zellick. He spells it Neal, so I appreciate that. Caps off to you. Thank you for this question. The 2019 Rugby World Cup champion was South Africa. And during that match, there were many great scores to be seen. Similar to a touchdown, what is the name of the way to score 5 points in rugby?
Isn't that it?
Yes.
Okay, we're locked in.
We have a friend who is a rugby player. If only we paid closer attention.
Yeah. Sorry, Luke. All right, we have a guess, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Which is you catch the ball in the end zone.
Okay. All right. And Matt and Ken?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of rugby lately, and I've been trying to pay attention to it. But I think this is called a try.
It is indeed a try, is what it's called. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's you score 5 points for a try.
Yeah, you can kick it for 3 points, and then I think that's how it works. Or you can run it across for 5, and that's a try.
All right. Number 5. Speaking of South Africa, this South African civil rights leader and anti-apartheid activist who wrote what he liked and was portrayed by Denzel Washington in the film Cry Freedom died in police custody in 1977.
All right, so it appears that me and Matt have no idea on this one, so I think we're just going to tap out here.
The only there is a really amazing movie about South Africa and apartheid that is about boxing. Do you know what I'm talking about from the 80s?
Oh yes.
This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but with this question. But it's actually a really phenomenal film. I just can't remember what it's called right now.
I know
so if anybody
exactly.
has the ability to...
The Power of One. Oh yeah, with
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that with is it Christian Slater or Stephen Dorff?
Stephen Dorff.
And is Morgan Freeman in
I think it's Morgan Freeman.
Incredible.
It's
yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
That's all I have. There we go.
I remember renting that at Blockbuster.
Turns out we know a lot about South Africa pop culture. We didn't know. Appreciate it.
And Matt and Ken, did you tap?
Tapped.
No, we don't know this yet.
Okay, so he was a writer, and like I said, he was also an anti-apartheid activist. It's Steve Biko. If that sounds familiar. Yeah. All right.
Tough.
I'm sorry that was tough. I tried to throw in some history, and I don't know if it's too hard or not. So, but
It
see,
was.
we had a great pop culture discussion right after, so that's more my lane here. Number 6 is going to be in pop culture, sort of, so we'll get back to business here. Back in the 90s, stores were packed by customers trying to get their hands on this talkative Tiger Electronics product that sold over 40 million units. They recently made a resurgence thanks to a fictional gambling addict and 47th Street jeweler Howard Ratner, who made a bedazzled necklace out of one.
Yeah, we're good here.
Locked in.
All right, Matt and Ken?
Would you walk around with that Furby necklace?
I would. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, probably.
I got to show you this, KG. You're going to love it.
KG. Yep. Liz and Brian?
Furbies.
Furbies is correct, and that was a reference from Uncut Gems.
Great movie from last year.
Excellent film.
Yes,
It took apparently like 10 years for that movie to get made also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's some really great there's some great backstory that I don't know the full story of it, but you can look it up online about how Ray Allen was supposed to not Ray Allen, Rondo was supposed to be playing the Kevin Garnett part and then like didn't show up on the day that they were supposed to start shooting or miss his plane or something like that. There was like some amazing story. So just imagine Rondo in the Kevin Garnett role and then go from there.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I really enjoyed the film. I know they kind of badgered Adam Sandler to do it forever, but glad it came together. And there's a great podcast with Paul Thomas Anderson interviewing the Safdie brothers about it. And it's really cool because in every movie they do, one of the brothers operates the boom mic. So he's right next to the action, which is kind of cool. So,
Well, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
All right. Number 7. No, the books Heartburn and I Feel Bad About My Neck are not books written by me about the various ailments that Ken, Jeff, and Matt make fun of me for. They are, in fact, written by this famous filmmaker whose final work was actually a Broadway play that provided frequent collaborator Tom Hanks with his Broadway debut. Who is this famous filmmaker?
I could not be more locked in. Like, if I locked in more, I would break the mic.
I feel bad about my neck.
I Feel Bad About My Neck and Heartburn are the one couple of the books that she wrote. Yes. Or they wrote, excuse me. I don't want to give you a hint. My bad.
You already did.
I did, sorry.
Too late, but luckily I don't think we still know it.
No, I don't know it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite
Frequent
writers of all
collaborator Tom
time.
Hanks, though.
It is. She is.
I can't get any correlations here, Matt, so I think we're out.
Okay. We are out.
All right. And Liz and Brian.
The answer is Nora Ephron.
Yep. One of my favorite writers of all time, Nora Ephron.
Terrific writer, director.
That's right.
One of my
A legend, really.
Yeah, one of my, I wish was a mentor. I wish I had known her when she was alive, but my sort of ethereal mentor. That's the post is dedicated to her.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, she's the world is definitely lost without her in it still, but her films will live on. So if you haven't seen them, please check them out because they're amazing.
Sleepless in Seattle. Get up on there.
Yep. All right, number 8. One of Nora's famous scenes that she wrote took place at Katz's Delicatessen in When Harry Met Sally. Each week, Katz's serves 15,000 pounds of pastrami, 2,000 pounds of salami, and 8,000 pounds of this traditional meat found in a Reuben sandwich.
I can
Locked
lock
in.
that in. All right, we're saying corned beef, right, Matt?
That is what's in Reuben.
Yes. Corned beef.
And corned beef is correct. Points all around. That's a lot of
On
corned
St.
beef.
Patty's Day.
Well, thank you for saying that, Matt. That was kind of a St. Patty's Day question because it is St. Patrick's Day. But in honor of this being St. Patrick's Day, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask a question to mark the holiday. So if you know our show, you know that instead of St. Patrick's Day, I have to do a St. Patrick Swayze Day question.
Yes. Excellent.
You don't have to. You choose to.
I have to. I have to.
Okay.
It's a compulsion.
It is, and I'm actually writing a Swayze book right now, so it's very part of the course. So, all right. In what Swayze film would you find the colorful characters named Noxima, Chi-Chi, and Vida?
Locked.
All right, it's the Tu Wong Fu, Matt. What's the rest of
Yeah.
it? Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Thanks for everything. Yes.
Okay.
That is correct. The whole thing.
Liz and Brian?
Chu Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
That is correct. Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything. Julie Newmar. All right.
Patrick is wonderful in that film, by the way. He's wonderful in everything.
Also, big shout out to Ghost, original Academy Award winner for original screenplay.
Yeah, everybody
Tight
forgets.
film. Such a good movie.
2 Academy Awards.
Yep.
It's
He's so
also,
great.
also a perfect movie. I know The Fugitive was mentioned earlier, but Ghost is perfect.
You know
Do
what's,
yourself a favor, go watch Ghost
you know
again.
what else is perfect? His red billowy shirt. Excellent.
Sam Wheat.
It is. There's some great. I mean, I could talk for the rest of the hour about all these things, but yeah, Ghost is great. Tony Goldwyn, perfect villain in that. There's a great thing Swayze was talking about where when he was fighting fighting in the alley. He wasn't punching anyone because he was supposed to be a ghost, and some passerbys were kind of laughing at him, and then he's like, "Why don't you try doing this? This is hard." Then they shut up. He did the scene, and everyone was like enthralled and cheered for him afterwards. So it was kind of a fun story. But anyway, I could talk about Patrick Swayze all day. So, All right. For a more serious St. Patrick's Day adjacent question, this is question 10 to end regulation. Mill Ends Park is the smallest park in the world, according to Guinness Book of Records. It was dedicated on St. Patrick's Day, 1976, as the only leprechaun colony west of Ireland, and is located in this city that has many nicknames, but to me, because I'm obsessed with coffee, I go by the nickname Stumptown.
I think I know it. We can lock in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're locked on.
All right, Ken and Matt?
I think that this is in the coffee hotbed. I think it's Portland.
All right, Liz and Brian?
Our guess is also Portland.
And a home to many great coffees, it is Portland. Okay, so going into the final round, your scores are very, very tight. Team in trouble, Matt and Ken have taken a very slight lead with 140, and Liz and Brian have 136. So as the game goes, these are the points they have to work with. They can wager 0 to 30 in any of these final 5 categories, and I'm going to give you the categories and let everyone make their wagers. So here are your final 5 categories. Final category number 1, Shadow Hunters. Final category number 2, Under Another Name. Number 3, Mind Hunter. Number 4.
Is there a theme? There's a theme with these?
Just celebrating both of your work.
Appreciate it.
And congratulations, by the way, about Under Another Name. It's going to be exciting. Directing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Number 4 is Tell Me a Story. And number 5, Chicago Spielberg. So
Right.
take your time thinking of your wagers there.
So if I had to guess, the first 4 probably aren't that closely related to the
No.
the category name itself, but the last one definitely is.
The wagers are locked in, and let's go to these final round questions. Number 1 was in the category of Shadow Hunters. Collinsport, Maine is a fictional coastal fishing village located in Hancock County and setting to what 1960s Gothic horror soap opera? Number 2 in the category of Under Another Name. Author Mary Westmacott, writer of 6 romance novels, might not be a household name. That's because Mary Westmacott was pseudonym for this prolific author and household name who kept it a secret for 20 years. Like most of her stories, the secret always ends up being revealed. Number 3 in the category of Mindhunter. Thank you to listener Patrick McGee for this question. In the 1995 crime thriller Seven, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman play detectives tracking down a serial killer whose murders are inspired by the 7 deadly sins. What are the 7 deadly sins as depicted in the film? Number 4 in the category of Tell Me a Story. The lyrics, "Once upon a time not long ago when people wore pajamas and lived life slow," is the hip-hop song Children's Story by what British-American hip-hop artist? And number 5 in Chicago Spielberg. Lil Abner is a satirical American comic strip launched in 1934. Drop the Lil and you have the first name of a character that goes unseen in a Spielberg film but is spoken of as a mentor to the main character in Chicago. In what film would you find this character? While the teams are going over their answers, just wanted to invite everyone to go join us over at The Crop on Facebook, our private Facebook group. All of our listeners are there interacting. There's some daily trivia. You can comment on the episodes when they're posted. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what impressions you thought were really stupid. All that good stuff and all the compliments that hopefully you will give us. But we have fun over there, and we like to do all of our announcements over there. So join us over at The Crop, and we look forward to seeing you. Okay, all the answers are locked in, so let's go through these. So number 1 was in the category of Shadow Hunters. I asked, Collinsport, Maine is a fictional coastal fishing village located in Hancock County and setting to what 1960s Gothic horror soap opera? So let's start with Matt and Ken and tell us your wager.
All right, we wagered 20 all the way down here, so we don't have to say it every time. It's always 20. But we thought about the only kind of Gothic horror soap opera we knew was Dark Shadows.
Okay, and Liz and Brian.
We wagered 20 and we were Dark Shadows.
Same thing. It was before our time, but it's the only one we could think of.
Yeah, we got to see the Eva Green version, I think.
Yeah, plus Shadows. So
Yeah.
I always thought Johnny Depp was a little younger than that, but
Yeah, all right. It is Dark Shadows. That is correct. Yep. I just kind of believed what the internet told me because the same thing. I don't know the old version, but it seemed like it was right. So, okay. Number 2 was in the category of Under Another Name. Author Mary Westmacott, writer of 6 romance novels, might not be a household name. That's because Mary Westmacott was a pseudonym for this prolific author and household name who kept it a secret for 20 years. Like most of her stories, the secret always ends up being revealed. Liz and Brian?
We wagered 20 points and we went with Agatha Christie.
And Ken and Matt?
Very similar. 20 points, Agatha Christie.
It is Agatha Christie. Talk about just an amazing author, over 670 books, I think. And I think she's the biggest selling author of all time. I can't remember the stat, but she's amazing. All right. Number 3 was in the category of Mindhunter. And this was from our listener, Patrick McGee. In the 1995 crime thriller Seven, as Ken said, where John Doe has the upper hand, Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman play detectives tracking down a serial killer whose murders are inspired by the 7 deadly sins. What are the 7 deadly sins? Let's go with Liz and Brian.
Okay, we wagered 10 points on this.
I wish we wagered more because we definitely got 6 out of 7.
Yeah, I don't. I think 6 are right, and the 7th is a little questionable. We went sloth, greed, lust, wrath, envy, gluttony, and vanity.
Okay, and Ken and Matt.
We went with gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy. We changed vanity to pride, but it means the same thing. And we went with lust, my favorite, as I said.
All right, that is correct. Pride or vanity, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath,
vanity
and sloth.
Vanity is pride.
So points all around. Great job.
Bonus factoid is that the screenwriter of that movie, Andrew Kevin Walker, plays gluttony.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's a great fact, actually. And see that our friends, when we watch movies together, I'll say some trivia like that, and they go, "Oh, that's a Neal fact," meaning it's not real. But that's not a Neal fact. That's true.
That's a real fact.
Because sometimes, as you know on the show, I say things that are blatantly false, but I make it sound like they're real. All right.
So you say it with confidence.
Yeah, right. All right. Number 4. This was in the category of Tell Me a Story. The lyrics "Once Upon a Time Not Long Ago When People Wore Pajamas and Lived Life Slow" is from the hip-hop song Children's Story by what British-American hip-hop artist? Ken and Matt?
Yeah, we weren't too sure on this one. Just the cadence. I know the song, and I think it's like late 80s, early 90s, so it stuck with me. It said Slick Rick.
All right, Liz and Brian?
That's a great guess. We were in the same boat. We sort of knew the time period, but we're struggling with who it was. Our guess is KRS-One. I really don't think that he's British in the slightest, but we couldn't shake that.
That is a really good guess, though, KRS-One, but it is, in fact, Slick Rick.
Oh,
Matt.
So that'll be the first...
With the eye patch.
With the eye patch, that's right. That'll be the first points lost for Liz and Brian there in this round. And the final, Chicago Spielberg. Lil Abner is a satirical American comic strip launched in 1934. Drop the Lil, and you have the first name of a character that goes unseen in a Spielberg film, but is spoken of as a mentor to the main character in Chicago. In what film would you find this character? Ken and Matt, I heard you struggling over this one for a long time. What did you end up going with?
Yeah, I said maybe it's the soldiers talking together and Saving Private Ryan, but then Matt said...
Yeah, I thought, especially being a Neal question, it's a movie he talks about a lot, and it seems like it's something that would be in the movie, so he said, Catch Me If You Can.
All right, awesome movie, but let's see what Liz and Brian said.
We wagered 30 points, and I feel good about it because
I wish we could have wagered more.
the answer is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And his last name is Ravenwood.
It is Abner
Ravenwood's father.
Ravenwood. Mm-hmm. And it was his mentor from the University of Chicago.
That makes sense.
And the reason I wrote that question today, and Liz and Brian, you might not know this, but we just moved to a little new area in my apartment, and the other office that we were in before has a huge vintage Raiders of the Lost Ark poster, and I miss it in
Amazing.
here. So that's why I wrote that question.
We'll have to move it over.
We'll move it over, yeah. For the scorekeepers at home, final scores 186 and 200 for today's cream of the crop. In trouble, Ken and Matt.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah.
How's it feel?
Hey, we pulled it out. We got out of trouble.
Yeah.
It's a close game, though. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us. We'll bring our second half more next time. I feel like the second half we really let everybody down.
We
so,
really stumbled out of the gate, and that hurt us in the long run.
So
Matt
we'll
had a
turn
real
around.
surge.
Yeah, Matt had a surge, and I think my questions got a little bit easier. I'm not sure. I tried to have it be well-rounded, but as you know, it's mostly pop culture references. But Brian and Liz, anything you'd like to tell the folks, like where they can find you, what you're working on, anything for them to check out?
We are currently working on trying not to go stir crazy and hand sanitizing everything, Cloroxing everything. I think the big thing we just want everybody to hear is stay inside, and I hope everybody stays safe, and I hope you guys are being productive or having fun, trying to stay productive and all those things while we're all stuck inside. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Liz Hannah.
I'm also on Twitter. I think I'm on Instagram. You would know. I'm at Millikin, but same thing here, which is the most important thing we can all do is the most frustrating thing that we can all do right now, which is just stay inside and try to stay away from everybody else. And so the good news is that we've got all the movies and TV shows in the world to watch.
That's true.
The bad news is that that's all we can do. But so yeah, if you're looking for a good one though, Liz wrote a movie that premiered on Netflix. It was still just a couple weeks ago. All the Bright Places, based on the best-selling novel. It's terrific. I had a TV show that just finished airing on CBS All Access. So all those episodes, you got all the access in the world. If you got CBS All Access, they're there. It's called Tell Me a Story. And obviously there's boatloads of other stuff out there too. So everybody try to do their best to enjoy themselves.
Well said.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. Brian, Tell Me a Story, I believe, is anthology of fairy tale folklore reimagined, right?
It is. It is a modern day thriller, non-supernatural sort of retelling of classic fairy tales. The showrunner is Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream and did Vampire Diaries and The Killing. So he
didn't do The Killing.
Oh, sorry, The Following.
There you go.
And so it's got what you come to expect from Kevin. It was a fun show. I'm lucky that I got to work on it.
Awesome.
We're excited to check it out. And for Liz, All the Bright Places, Colleen and I did watch it. Justice Smith and Elle Fanning have unbelievable chemistry. It's really, really great, especially dealing with mental health issues. So I really recommend it highly. So great job, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, you get really lucky if those are the two that are in your movie.
Yes, yeah, and they were wonderful together. So thank you both for joining us, and we really appreciate your time. If you ever want to write a game and co-host it together, we'll play it for you. So if you ever want to give your hand at writing trivia, let us know.
We do.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Write it. You're welcome back anytime.
We've got the time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We all have the time now. So, but just to echo what they said, everyone, please stay safe. We're really lucky that we can do a show and a type of content where we can kind of stay here, interact with people over Skype and stay safe while creating this content and hopefully providing some laughter or some knowledge while you're waiting out what we're dealing with right now. So we hope that just a small part of your day we can make a little bit better. But on behalf of Ken, Matt, Jeff, Liz, Brian, and myself, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality. Good. Catch Me If You Can. You know it's one of my favorites, right? So, two mice in the bucket of cream.
I know. You love doing that.
I love doing it.